Greetings, brethren. So my Minimalist Jam is over, and I want to thank everyone who participated and made some cool games. I think there were like 16 games? Well, there were 17 at first, but then there were 15. So I guess 2 people pulled out, but yeah. This will be the gameplay of all those games. Here's our nice little list of games we had this time. And I started things off with Redbear Arcade by Grimdev. And I was immediately impressed by the art style and that you could knock these chairs over. I thought that was a cool touch. And I always appreciate destruction in breakable environments. And then this guy approached me and I gave him a left and a right and a kick. And I really like how the enemies respond to your attacks. They like fly back. And it's really cool. Not sure how he did that, but yeah, like that. When you kill the enemies, they go flying back. And it's very satisfying. And of course, all the little blood splatters as well. That's a nice touch. As you can see, I really like the kick. I think I used that more than the gun, actually, in the beginning here. It was very satisfying to kick them like that. But the pistol was really fun to use too. Sound effects were nice and crunchy. And then I found this gun, and this was my favorite throughout the whole game. And then here we have the first vehicle I've ever seen in an easy FPS editor game, which is insane. It took me a while to figure out how to work this thing, but you basically hold down the left click. And then I missed the ramp there, so try it again, and then I entered the slow motion, which is pretty cool. But yeah, you hold in the left click to make the bike accelerate, and then it's a little bit hard to handle, as you can see here. It's not the most responsive, but it's still amazing that he pulled this off. It's the first time I've seen a vehicle in an easy FPS editor game, so that was really cool. And yeah, this machine gun was very satisfying to use. Very fast and very dangerous. But then I found this shotgun. Also got stuck behind this little barrier. I wasn't sure why and I couldn't get through, but eventually I did. I kept driving into it and then I died over there. But yeah, then I went back to this barrier and I could not get through. So I just squeezed my way through this side here and kind of clipped through it, and that worked. And the shotgun was really satisfying too. They basically go flying back with one shot, so that was fun. Then I made a mistake driving in here. I got stuck in a corner and got ganged up on, so that wasn't good. Even the pistol was really dangerous, as you can see. Then I went slow-mo over this ramp again, and the music changed. And I thought something was coming, something dangerous. And then I saw him. Look at that guy. He's naked. And very scary. So we have a scary naked boss fight over here. And then I died and clipped through the ground. Then I made my way back. Rode over that guy. And I tried to see if I could ram this dude with the bike, and I think it works. But it's not very effective, as he's very large. Then I emptied my clip on him here, and that was fun. And then I clipped through the ground again, and just kept sinking for a while. Still sinking. So yeah, that was a funny glitch. And then I got this other funny glitch where he got stuck in a wall. So I thought, Cool, easy pickings. I can just shoot him now and kill him while he's stuck on the wall, but these other enemies kept spawning, which made it quite difficult to take this guy down. And I had to aim in the perfect spot to actually hit him, otherwise I'd hit the wall, so... Yeah, it would have been a lot easier if it weren't for the enemies that kept spawning in, but... Yeah. Then I died again. Yeah, then I realized my best bet is just to unleash bullets on him and just keep firing. And I think I got him here. Yeah, there he goes. Then yeah, it said I completed the demo. Asked if I want to fight a little more, and I said yes. So then I tried to survive for a while, but I didn't survive very long, as you'll see now. It's very easy to get stuck in a corner with these guys, so... Yeah, then I died. Then the next game I played was Void Magic by Flappy. And it's got a really, really cool looking art style. Probably one of the most unique games I've seen. I like that he stuck to this color palette of just black, white, and red. Very cool and very metal. Then I killed myself by placing a shield in front of me. That was not smart. But then I found the Scroll of Flight. This whole game is built around this flight mechanic, which is also really impressive. It was fun to use. And I killed that thing. Flew over here, and I really, really like the sound effects of this game. Like that. When you pick up the potions and the little mana flasks. Very satisfying. Ah, my favorite. These bats were bastards. I think these were the hardest enemies out of the whole game. These stupid bats. They killed me many times. So yeah, as you can see, I wasn't really good at this game at first. Like, I was using my shield, but I wasn't like hiding behind it. And it seems like if you hide behind the shield, you can't fire through it. So it kind of gets in your way too. It helps you, but it also gets in your way, so... It's still a very cool mechanic. Yeah, watching this back now, I'm realizing I'm just walking into attacks the whole time, so that's my fault. This is like pretty early in the game and I'm already very low on health. But whenever I saw these hearts, I would fly after them. Then this was the first boss fight. You can see he's also got shields. He's got 4 of them, so he's cheating. But then I took them out, and then he shot these little shapes at me. I was not very good at dodging them. See, like that, the shield's helpful, but then you can't really shoot through it, so it's kind of like an obstacle for yourself too. But yeah, then I took him out and went up this cool lift. I really like how Flappy did this. And then yeah, this is pretty embarrassing, but clearly you can see that the keys there show you press right on the directional keys. But I was like, what must I do with this? Then I got on top of it and eventually used my brain and realized I need to press up and then left and then right. So yeah, it took me a few seconds, but got it. Then my best friends were back. And then I don't know, at this point I started running and it was a terrible idea because all the enemies were spawning at once. So that was not a good plan. And then I went and saved you as well. Not clever. Yeah, this was my first playthrough of the game. I actually went back and played it the next day because I struggled quite a bit. But yeah, my patience was pretty low this day. I was not playing well or playing smart, so... And then here I realized that I'm starting at the beginning again, and that was me looking for load game. And I didn't realize you just have to go to that first little statue, and it would have spawned me back in where I was. But I only realized that the next day, so then I went and did all this again. And then I died once, twice, 3 times, maybe more. And then again, I should have just interacted with that thing. It would have taken me back to where I was.
The next day.
So yeah, then I came back the next day, interacted with the statue, and it took me back where I was. And that's when I realized I was being dumb. I could have just loaded back where I was from the first statue, but I didn't know. And that was a cool transition. I don't know how you did that, but it was really cool. Then I found the skullduggery spell. And this one was way more dangerous. I like this one. Yeah, and here's our second boss fight. The Soul Stone, or Cube Man. And yeah, I fought this guy for quite a while because I didn't realize you have to shoot his butthole, basically. You have to shoot him there, in the red hole. And I was shooting his face the whole time, and he doesn't take damage if you shoot him there, so... Yeah, this took quite a while. I fought him for so long that the music actually stopped. And then I perished, so... I think here I realized, oh, okay, you're supposed to shoot him in the hole. It's his weak point, which makes a lot of sense. No one wants to get shot there. It was a lot easier this time around once I realized you can't shoot his face. So it went a lot better this time. I think I kill him now. And then the cool metal music stopped playing, which was sad, but it was time to move on. So I jumped on top of his corpse and flew up. And then I found this guy who spawns my best friends. So that was a fun surprise. Then I got stuck here for a bit. I didn't know where I was supposed to go. And then I flew up because I thought I would die if I go down there. But it turned out I actually have to jump down there, so... And that took me all the way back to the beginning of the game, where I could fight the final boss. The Crystal Master. But yeah, I really enjoyed these boss fights. A lot of thought went into it. I like that they spawn other enemies as well. And they have different attack patterns and stuff. It's really, really well done. And of course the health bar too is really cool. But yeah, my first run didn't go well. But I did better on the second try. But yeah, Mr. Flappy actually went on to win this jam. His game placed first, and it's well deserved. It was a lot of fun. It was difficult at first. Then I had to come back the next day and try again, but I really enjoyed it on my second playthrough. And he had some credits too. Really great job. I think it was his first game that he made in this engine as well, so even more impressive. Nicely done, Flaps. Then next I played Honeybee Delivery by TJ, and it's quite a contrast from the last game I played. You can see it's bright and colorful and cute and cool. Really like this art style. And I believe he made all these 3D models and animations himself in Blockbench, because he's a wizard. Threw the box at his head to see if he would catch it, but he did not. So yeah, when you walk with the box, you're a lot slower. So I realized you can just throw it ahead of you and then run after it. And that was really fun. So you basically just deliver these boxes of honey, I'm guessing, to these bears. Because bears like honey. Then I found my first obstacle. You can't take the boxes through these walls. You have to throw it over. Or get it around in a creative way. I was trying to see if the window would break. I like breaking stuff. And yeah, this is a bigger level. I had to deliver 6 boxes. And at this point I realize there's a hole in the ceiling, so I need to get up there somehow. And at this point I was realizing that this game is a lot of fun. It's satisfying to try and figure out how to get these boxes to these bears in creative ways. Yeah, that's the cool thing about this jam. All the games were so different. Like, there were actually not many shooters at all. Everyone got really creative this time. Some of these bears were in pretty easy spots, but then others were like up here. And yeah, this throwing mechanic is really fun. Like, you can do some really cool stuff with this. Also really enjoyed the music that's in this game. I'm guessing he made it himself too. At this point I was a little confused, like, how do I get up here? But then I realized that if you throw the box down, you have like a second to actually stand on top of it. And that worked. I don't know if that's how you were supposed to do it, but it worked, so... Then I made my last delivery. Then I played Terminal State by Pixel Wolf. I was immediately unsettled. Even more when I saw this guy approaching me. I thought maybe I could talk to him, but no. He was just chasing me. Yeah. Pretty unnerving. The music that was used in this and this fella chasing you around is a little spooky. So yeah, I was curious if I could interact with him or something, but I didn't want to get too close and find out. Not yet. So I was just running around for a while trying to figure out what to do, or if there was a weapon somewhere or something. I think eventually I lost him. I couldn't find him again. But yeah, going from Honeybee Delivery to this game, again, was another huge jump in contrast. And then I think I just got curious here, and yeah, I guess he killed me there, and now we get to stare at his crotch. So then I tried again. I assumed I had to escape or something. But yeah, then on this run, I noticed this little exit sign. And I escaped. And that was that. Short and sweet and spooky. Then, next I played Little Droopy's Big Adventure, and I know what you're thinking. Is this an easy FPS editor game? And yes, it is. Droopy is a grand wizard. I have no idea how he did this. You must correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this whole game runs on a loop script. And I don't know. I'm not smart enough to understand how this was done, but it was done. He made a side-scrolling platformer in a first-person shooter engine. Just because he's Droopy, and he can. But yeah, the music was really cool. Collecting the coins was fun. And I played this game for like 50 minutes. Because I was trying to collect every single coin I could. I don't know if you're supposed to do that in these games, but whenever I play platformers or these types of games, I want to collect everything, so that's why I ended up playing so long, because I died a lot, trying to collect every single coin. And it got pretty difficult later on, so I've cut this footage down quite a lot, because I did play this game for almost an hour, and I died a lot. I mean, a lot. I died, and I died many times. Eventually I got through this level. I think at this point I did collect every single coin. And then the other thing was, in between each death, the game did take a long time to load. So I'm not sure if that's because it's running on a loop script or something. But that made it a bit more painful. Every time I died, I had to wait quite a while for the game to load. Yeah, then I just died some more. And then died again. And again, probably. Yep. Yeah, I died a lot, so... I don't usually play platformers, but when I do, I try and collect everything, so... I made the game a lot harder than it needed to be, trying to collect every coin. So yeah, this is basically just a death compilation right now, but I did beat the game eventually. And this is when I realized this level's gonna be hard, because there are corpses, and the music is scary, so... And it was hard. But eventually, I did do it. But yeah, I played the game for like an hour. Amazing work, Droops. Next, I played Movement Laboratories by Nuclear Wizard Software. I got pretty strong Portal vibes immediately, which is a good thing. We all like Portal. And then here I fell down. I feel like the gravity on your jumps were very high on this. Like the player character you play as is very heavy or something.
Excellent work. You may now proceed to the next test.
So test 1 I only failed once, and then I think test 2 also went fine.
Please note that following during the second part of the test will result in the conclusion of the test, as well as your life.
It's pretty difficult to understand what this robot voice was trying to tell me.
Excellent work. Please note that you will be monitored throughout these tests.
Ah yes, the launch pads were a little tricky at first.
Please discover launch pads. Walking onto floor tiles that have an arrow that will launch
I found this secret little nook with writing on the wall.
Please do not ever
Seems someone was trapped in here
testing method.
and going crazy. He just wasn't very good at the game, I guess. Here I'm hitting my head on the wall, on the ceiling.
You seem to adapt quite fast.
Ah yes, this one was a little tricky. Launchpad boosts.
By jumping the moment you hit the second launch pad in the hole in the wall.
I think that's the death sound effect from Portal 2. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's definitely a Source Engine sound.
The moment you hit the second launch pad in the hole in the wall, you can get an additional boost that will
And then I died again. But then I realized you have to jump
by jumping the moment you hit the
instead of running straight into it. And I think that's what the robot voice was telling me.
By jumping the moment you hit the second launch pad in the hole in the wall, you can gain an additional boost that will allow you to reach the platform above.
Yeah, so I stopped to listen to what he was saying. I was listening very carefully, but he said something about jumping beforehand. So you gotta jump into the boost. And I didn't do it there. Should have saved.
By jumping the moment you hit the second launch pad in the hole in the wall, you can gain an additional boost that will allow you to reach
Ah, there. Then I went and saved.
the platform above.
And got it right. You just gotta jump into the launch pad, then it works.
Excellent work. Please
Then I found another secret corridor. More scribbles. Whoever was trapped in here was a pretty good artist, though.
Please discover all the skills you have learned. This jump requires an additional boost.
Yeah, so final test wasn't too bad.
Excellent work. You have completed
Then I found
all
this
the
exit,
tests.
but
Please proceed to the
I went through
exit.
here instead. Saved and then fell down here. More scribbles on the wall. Yeah, this person could not find the exit.
Where did you run off to? I must kill you.
Got pretty nervous at this point, like something was gonna chase me or machine guns were gonna shoot at me or something, but it was just empty threats. He can't kill me, he's just a voice. And yeah, then I found the real exit.
No, I can't.
I didn't try the other exit. I wonder what would have happened if I went there. But that was fun. Short and sweet. Perfect for these jams. Okay, yeah, so this is pretty unfortunate, but also quite hilarious at the same time. When I played the White Room, my gameplay was just white. So I recorded like a decent chunk of gameplay, like 20-25 minutes, and it was all white. And I only realized right before the final boss here. So fortunately you can't see the boss fight. I just hit this guy in the head with a stick a few times. He shoots bullets from his... yeah. I just moved left, moved right, shot him a few times, and he exploded. And then I got out of there. But yeah, it's very unfortunate. I recorded the whole game and it was all white. But it's also hilarious that the game's called The White Room. And then I also ended up with white gameplay. So that's just very ironic. Then the next game I played was the Blorbz Attack by Skuro. And I'm guessing these are blorbs. They seem pretty menacing. They just kind of followed me around a while. Then I began my quest for the alpha key. The blorbs were getting pretty close. I found the SD card. Then I found another key and this weapon in a briefcase. And it's pretty cool. It charges up only when you walk, which is quite nifty and creative. The impact of the weapon wasn't too exciting. It just kind of goes... I wasn't sure if it was doing damage, but I hope so. Yeah, then I got given the option to pick up this key and run for it, since my weapon's disabled now. Or to kill them all first. But I thought it might take a while to kill them all with this weapon, since it's a little slow, so I grabbed the key and ran. And that was it. Short and sweet, I escaped. Then I played the game with the longest title out of all of them. Every Day I Work and Nothing Changes Until This Very Day by UK Gloom Games. Yeah, it had this cool little intro sequence. Another unsettling kind of spooky vibe going on. I like the art style they went for. Scratchy and unpolished, but it works well. Then I got fired. And then everything got violent. And then I got stabby. Started stabbing people with my pen. And I really like the stapler weapon as well. It's pretty cool. Now the music was a bit loud, but I turned that down just now. So these are the only two weapons throughout the game, the pen and the stapler, but it's very creative, and the stapler was my favorite. It wasn't the easiest to aim with at a distance, but the click sound was very satisfying. So after stabbing everyone with pins and shooting them with staples, I went out there, and I like that you can save at the water coolers, which is pretty nifty. And then these guys are pretty difficult ranged enemies, but they dropped Red Bulls, which is very nice. And these things started chasing me. I didn't know what they were at first, so I just started running. A little bit creepy. And a lot of this game was very, very dark, which made it extra challenging. And as you can see, I'm struggling with the stapler there. I missed a lot. And this was kind of like the first boss fight. And it's funny because he actually is your boss. So it's a real boss fight. And in this boss fight I actually struggled with a little bit. I think I died a couple times. Yeah, did not expect all of them to appear out of nowhere like that. And they cornered me. Twice. It's quite a small room, so... My next strategy was to just keep moving. I realize now I probably could have just left at this point, but I stuck around and took them out. Grabbed some Red Bulls. And here's where it got really, really dark. And there was no flashlight or anything. And this part kind of turned into a maze at one point, so I was getting pretty lost. But eventually I got my way out, and then this was the final boss. And if these guys hit you, then they knock you very far back, and then you fall off this little ledge into a ditch with like toxic sludge that kills you slowly. So I did fall in there a few times. Like that. Fortunately, there were many Red Bulls everywhere. And he knocked me straight back in. And I like that your vision decreases as you lose health. It's pretty creative. So yeah, that was pretty challenging. It took me a few tries, but got it right in the end. But yeah, this game was very interesting. It was very unsettling, the atmosphere, and pretty dark. And I like the cinematics and the cutscenes and stuff. Pretty well done. And it turned out it was all a dream. This man's just losing his mind at work. Wants to stab people with his pen. These violent video games. And then I played a sweet game called The Sunflowers Rush to Space by Beedly10. It's a nice little game about a sunflower, and then you collect seeds from it and sell those seeds to buy stuff, to make more money. So I spent a little while harvesting seeds. And here you can see there's a seed picker, a fuel machine, and butter churner, and something else. And then here you can go and sell your wares for cash. See, another very creative idea for this engine. Gotta make money to upgrade those machines. That'll make you more product that you can sell to then make more money, and that's the loop. But yeah, then I went to go see what was down here. And it was a humongous rocket ship. It cost $100,000. So I had a lot of seeds to sell. So then I was getting seeds every few seconds. Then I upgraded this butter churner, which generated butter every few seconds. And then I just waited around here and sold my seeds and my butter. Then I bought the oil generator. Now I can sell seeds, butter, and oil. You can see now I'm starting to get rich. And then we got fuel. So I was just moving back and forth between these 4 stalls and making cash. For quite a while. I've sped up this gameplay. I played for like half an hour or something. And yeah, I just kept repeating that process until I had $100,000. And then went back to the rocket ship. The only critique I had of this game is that I wish there was some sound effects or like a different song that would play, because the song would just keep finishing and then looping. And I do wish there were sound effects for when you sold your stuff. It would make it a lot more engaging. Just something as simple as sound effects makes this kind of game a lot more fun. Then I played Sword, Torch, and Tinderbox by Lapini. And immediately I was drawn to this very unique art style he has going on. One of the most unique looking ones from this jam. And I really enjoyed the music too. Very whimsical. I fought this little goblin fella. Searched some barrels. Found some gold. You just kind of shake your torch at the enemies and I guess it burns them or something. Yeah, and these, I want to call them blood decals, or, you know, when the enemies get damaged. Those ones were pretty big, so I was blocking up the whole screen. But then I was rewarded with cans of beer. Very big cans of beer in this room. I got jumped by some skellies. But I really enjoyed the level of interactivity in this game. You can interact with a lot of stuff and a lot of like world building elements going into this. So I found this little dagger. But I did switch back to the torch shortly after this because the dagger's kind of in the way of the screen. It blocks your vision a little bit. And then I had a chat with the wizard over here. And he sent me on a quest for maps. And there was quite a big delay after attacking your enemy with the sword. You would have to wait a few seconds before you could do damage again. Then I saw this daunting statue and I think it comes to life. I taught him a lesson in combat. And this was really cool. I found this little brick in the wall that you could interact with, and it opens a door somewhere. Thought that was really cool. Then I brought my wizard friend his maps. Went to the wishing well. Paid my fee, and then I needed to find some gems. And there's the first one. Then I fought a dragon. Fighting dragons and drinking beer. I do wish the enemies had some sound effects or something though. Yeah, and then I found all the gems and went through this nice looking painting in the wall. I escaped the Dungeon of Doom. Then I played Orion by Balu FZ, and I had this cool little intro cutscene. So this fella was speeding and doing drifts around corners, and then he got in a car crash. And then he went to this place. Limbo, that's the word. Then I found this little house. Made friends with the dog. Found some rifle ammo. I got this cool hunting rifle and I tested it out on the dog, but the dog did not take damage. I just had to check. And then I checked to see what could take damage in this world, so I shot everything. Found my first shard. And I really like the sound effect that plays when you pick up the shards. Then I got attacked by this wild beast. I took him out. Found some bramble. And then I went hunting. Every animal I killed dropped a little shard, so it was hunting time. The gun was quite nice to use. I like the sound effects, and it was very satisfying to use. The only issue I have with this game was the walking speed. As you can see, you walk very slow in this game, and you have to walk quite a lot. So I wish you could have walked a bit faster, or could have sprinted or something. That's the only critique. That's the only issue I had with this game. He does walk very slowly. I found a little hatchet, so I could take down that bramble. And yeah, I had to speed up this part because of the walking speed. And I had to go all the way back to the house to get more ammo. Yeah, I sped up a few parts because very slow. Then I found this cool little Easter egg, little poster there. Very nice touch. And you can see I'm jumping around a lot because it gave me the illusion I was moving faster. So I was just jumping around the whole time. Then I went through the portal of destiny to a second level. And the dog was following me everywhere. Then I got a double barrel shotgun and tried to shoot the dog again. Didn't work. Yeah, and these enemies were pretty tough. You can see that one hit took basically all my health away. What do you call this beast anyway? Buffalo? What is this thing called? Yeah, I think it's a buffalo. Or a moose of some kind. He's got big horns. Then I found some rocks. And then I had to kill these really fast big chickens. And they were very difficult to kill. They were very fast. And I was very slow. So I really struggled to kill these funny chickens. Then I found some scary spiders. Then the hardest part of this game was killing all these ostriches. They were very, very quick. But eventually, after some time, I got it done and then went to the second portal. And then the dog started speaking to me in English. Otherwise, I really enjoyed this one. I just wish I was faster. Otherwise, everything else was great. Really cool art style. I love the 3D models and stuff. RingWay by Computer Schmoputer. I actually really enjoyed this one. It was also very quick. And as you can see, I move much faster in this game compared to Orion. So that was a really nice change of pace. And this game is basically just dodgeball. But because you move so fast, it's really fun. I had a good time with this one. See, you finish one round and then you move on to the next one, collect some balls, and play dodgeball. I kept this whole gameplay video in just because I finished it pretty quickly, like 7 minutes I think. It was a great time. Simple, fun, and fast-paced. That guy was cheating though. He brought a gun. And I don't think that's allowed in dodgeball. So I don't know who let him in. I like that the game keeps track of your body count as well. And the impact sound of the ball when it hits the enemy is very satisfying too. Then we got some really tall guys in this round and more people with guns. So this game of dodgeball just got out of hand pretty quickly. But yeah, this game stuck to the minimalist theme very well. Very simple art style, limited colors, and just a simple, fun gameplay loop. I enjoyed. Then we got a music change, and I like this song. Made me feel like I was going faster. And this was cool. This is like a multiple ball throw weapon. I like this one. And that went to the beat there. That was unplanned, but very cool. And then on this level, the lights went out, so someone was screwing with the light.
Hey, they're screwing with the lights!
This part of the game reminded me of the scene in Jackass 3D, where they all went in this dark room and threw medicine balls at each other.
This is medicine ball dodgeball in the dark.
If you've seen that, you know what I'm talking about. But that's what this reminded me of. And that was it. I became RingWay champion in 7 minutes. And it was a great time. I really liked that game. Then I played Safe Zone by Blazing Skull. And another very dark game. I was busy reading that thing on the wall and then I got attacked by this shadow monster. Looks like I got a Roblox gun or something. But it was fun to use. It was just very loud. A very loud gun. But I guess guns are loud, so realistic. And the enemies were very, very noisy whenever you killed them. I also really struggled to pick up the ammo and health and stuff. You would have to press E on it, but you had to be like really close to it to get it. I wish I could just run over it to collect it. Then I went to the next level, and it was even darker. I believe it's a mole. And then I ran out of ammo. So I spent a while trying to find some more ammo. And they were all just chasing me. And then I found some, but it didn't last very long. A lot of enemies, but not much ammo. And then I escaped. Next up was Goblin's Unrest by Nick Furr, 1991. The winner of the previous Game Jam. So he's completed his Unrest trilogy. It was Vlad's Unrest, then Santa's Unrest, and now Goblin's Unrest. I was fighting these little robots. And I was very confused by these gates at first, and this robot. I was attacking him and he wasn't dying. And I couldn't figure out how to get through these bars. So I'd kind of just clip through the side there. I just forced my way through. And eventually I realized I need to get up there. And I looked around for a while, and then the robot got out by himself. And then he followed me, and I realized, I need to jump on his head. That's why you can't kill him. And I think I realized by accident that you can break these bars open. Yeah, I still didn't know at this point, so I was just forcing my way through. And then I realized, you gotta hit them to get them open. That took me a while to realize. Pretty embarrassing. Now I was ready. I know those little robots are your friends. These robots are not your friends. And then I really enjoyed this music, and I realized that I could drum along to the beat. So yeah, spent a while playing musical weapons. It was pretty fun. But yeah, it was very creative. I like how you have the friendly robots that help you get up to high places. That was cool. And just like in the previous Nick games, the music's always really good. So yeah, most of these weapons were just melee. They got stronger and stronger, but then I found this, my first ranged weapon. Don't want my hand look so messed up. Got broken fingers. I did get a little lost sometimes in these rooms. Sometimes it was a little tricky to find the doors or where to go exactly. I got stuck in this room for a while. But eventually I found the key and then had to figure out where to go next. Took some time, then I found this place, went to jail. And at this point I realized I hadn't saved the whole playthrough, but fortunately it auto-saved, so I just loaded my quick save. And I really like this weapon because it was fast, kind of like a machine gun hand. And then I died again. It seemed the robots were getting bigger and bigger and more dangerous. Then I noticed that thing up there shooting stuff at me. Little boss fight. And he went down. And then I found this Goblin fella from the last game that Nick made. But yeah, I'm always impressed with his games and his 3D models. And that was all the games. That was the EFPSE Minimalist Jam 2026. And our winner was Flappy with Void Magic. In second place we had Redbear Arcade by Grimdev. And in third place we had Honeybee Delivery by TJ. Then for creative use of limitations we had Little Droopy's Big Adventure in first place, Void Magic second place, and Movement Laboratories in third. For visual design we had Redbear Arcade, second was Void Magic, and third was Honeybee Delivery. Then for audio design, first was Redbear, second was Void Magic, and third was Honeybee again. For minimalist theme, we had Movement Laboratories first, then Little Droopy's Big Adventure, and then RingWay. For overall polish, we had Redbear Arcade, Void Magic, and Little Droopies. Yeah. So the main criteria was fun and engagement, which determined the winners. But for next time, I'm gonna take all the ratings and then get an average score from all the criteria, and then do it a bit differently next time. But yeah, that was the Minimalist Jam. Thank you to everyone who joined. And in other news, I'm now a YouTube partner, which means I have supers enabled for my videos. So you're able to give me a super thanks if you're feeling super thankful. I also have the option for memberships, which I'll think about and decide what I'll do for that. And I also have the shopping option available, but I don't have any products right now, but I'll think about it. Right now I just have my supers enabled, so if you're feeling super generous or super thankful, then feel free. So if you made it this far into the video, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate the support, and thank you to everyone who subscribed to my channel in the past year or so. And yeah, this video was done very differently to my last two Game Jam videos. Usually I would record my gameplay with my voice at the same time, but this time I just recorded the gameplay videos and then recorded this voiceover afterwards. But I didn't really enjoy doing it this way, so I think I'll go back to the old way next time. But yeah, otherwise, thanks again to everyone. I will see you in the next video. Join the Discord and have a good weekend. See you soon, dudes.